Okay, so I turn it on. And this is what you want. Use iTunes to restore. So that's a good sign. This is what you want to see. Alright, so we're going to get you over to the screen grab in iTunes. Or Apple Music is what it's called. But I just wanted to show you that I'm using this handy 30-pin to USB Type-C cable.
Which I'll link also.
To connect it to my MacBook Pro. This is a 2020 M1. So just for background here. I'm going to plug this up. Hold on. Plug it in, you get that. Okay, you get that over here, and then I'm gonna join you on the screen capture. Once you plug the iPod in, this is what you're gonna get. Your Mac has detected an iPod in recovery mode. You must restore this iPod before it can be used. Click OK. Alright, so one little quick tip that you just saw is like it was loading and loading and loading. What you want to do is like click out and then click back on it, and it'll for some reason make it catch up. Alright, so the iPod's showing up in Finder itself. And like I'll go to iTunes here, like it's not showing up in iTunes yet. So it's just showing up as like an external drive in Finder. So you're going to come here and hit restore. Are you sure you want to restore to its factory settings? Everything will be erased. Yes. And you must be connected to the internet to do this. So click restore. Alright, it's a little tricky with the Apple Silicon laptops, but you'll have to try a combination of restarting, unplugging the iPod, and resetting the iPod using center button and menu. Hold center and menu, and it'll restart you to get you back to this. And once you get through, you'll get to this screen here. Next, and then agree. And it shouldn't take long at all. Alright, so if restore iPod does not work and it's not actually restoring it, then find out what kind of MacBook you have. If you have an M1 like I do, then you'll need to do that. And I've had to do this for every iPod that I've flash modded. You need to eject the device and then you need to restart your computer. So let me do that. Be right back. Alright, once you've restarted, you will click restore, and then you should be able to push through eventually to the next step. And that's what you're watching here. It'll prompt you to put in your password. And so then put in your password and you'll see that I get this random hardware error code. Alright, I got this error. Alright, after multiple cycles of restarting, plugging and unplugging in the iPod, you should be able to hit restore and get to this screen. Your Mac is restoring the software on this iPod. I'll give it a minute. Okay, that zebra striped bar on the bottom might just go on and on and on and on and never progress. And that's what mine does. So if yours is doing that, give it maybe 5 minutes and then unplug it. And then you'll see what happens when you do that. It never told me that it was done, but I unplugged it when it still had that zebra stripe bar at the bottom, and this is what I get now. So I'm going to plug it back in. There you go. So let me get you back on the computer. In Finder, instead of it prompting you to restore, you should see the name, the kind, and the storage capacity here. And it's just gonna wheel and wheel and wheel. And you can click, you can see like other folders on the device that store information, but this is what we get now after restoring. So now we're gonna go to iTunes, and you can see it's not showing up yet. So I'm going to eject it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to set it up real quick just to get into it. There. Okay, so we're back. We had to do one more restart, and this always happens to me with this M1 MacBook and these iPods. The iPod will restore, and it turns on, and it's full color on the iPod, but then it will not show up in iTunes. So then you have to do one more restart. But what happens is you eject it, and for some reason, it will prevent the computer from restarting. So you'll go to restart, and you'll get a message that says, your Mac is still using a device in the sidebar and you can't restart, so you're stuck. So what you have to do is you have to hold the power button and physically shut off the machine and then turn it back on. And then for some reason that works and it now shows up in iTunes. And so you can click it now here and then it'll do this. This is open in another window and then you have to click out of it and then click back into it. And it says use Finder to finish. And then this is how you know you're done. You get this screen and then you gotta go get started. And here you know you're good. You can check for an update, you can restore it again, and then I always manually manage. So this is checked. I'm not gonna sync it and enable disk use. So I'm good to go. Close out of that. And now when I click it, I have all the metadata columns here, title, artist, album, and I can go into songs and I can now drag onto it and it shows up here. So there's a lot of little hoops you gotta jump through. It's like a little dance, and this is the same thing that happens every time I do one of these with this M1 Mac and this version of iTunes or Apple Music. So let me eject this, and I'm gonna bring you back to the bench.
Ready to rip.
Boom.
Loving it.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.